Hey, today I want to talk a little bit about what we might think of technology and kind of define it a little bit, but we're going to be doing it in kind of an ancient Greek kind of mode here. So, technology actually comes from the concepts of techne and logos. Techne being um, this art or craft or creating some of the craft of creating something. Before Techne, we basically had really two camps. So you had Theoria and Praxis. Theoria are these philosophers. They live with their heads in the clouds. They live a life strictly of contemplation. However, nothing ever really gets done. And then on the other hand, we have praxis, which these are your doers. These are the people who only go out and practice. They don't think about what they do, they just do what they're told. Um, you can see some of this in modern society where you have boards of directors who will sit over and determine best practices for, say, an assembly line, people who are actually working down on the assembly line. These board members never really get their hands dirty, go down and look and kind of like play with it and kind of like um, make any of the actual work themselves, but they contemplate better ways there. And the people who are down on the assembly line, they're not allowed to come up, give feedback, or give any kind of information about what a better process might be. And in this disconnect, you can see several different issues. When people up here are in complete contemplation, who don't really see the everyday goings ons, you are disconnected. You don't really see how that efficiency can translate on hand. On the other hand, if all you do is work, 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 you just follow orders, you just do what you're told, you really leave very little room for uh, making something better within the moment, or even making an appropriate choice. Um, Hannah Arendt said of the Nuremberg trials, she actually watched that many of the Nazis that were on trial for war crimes typically came up with the excuse, I was just following orders. And we have to kind of understand that's not enough, right? We can't just hide behind, I'm just following orders, because atrocities happen. We're often asked to do very terrible things, or we might be asked to do things that are out of reach for us, or more, you know, unethical. So it's important to be able to justify that moment, that moment, to bring that in. And that's what Techne does. Techne takes both of these points, theoria and praxis, and mixes the two to make for a better moment, right? It's these people now are crafting something, and not only are they crafting, they can evolve that something as need arises. So it's both in, you can look at it in both from a moral standpoint or from a very tangible, practical standpoint where you are creating something. So Tacne is often going to be associated with skilled labor, manual labor, but again, it's about being able to apply that um, praxis and theoria, and logos is this other end of it. Logos being that rhetorical trope, the ethical, the theoretical form of knowledge, this point that encompasses rational thinking, reasoning, and discourse. It's not necessarily focused on the practical application of knowledge, but rather on the understanding and the nature of the things around in the world around us. So that both of these concepts, techne and logos, they can be applied to our understanding of technology, right? So technology can be seen as the application of techne, as it involves the use of tools and techniques, or create something new and solve a solve a problem. But technology also requires us the use of logos, right? It involves theoretical knowledge and understanding of the principles that govern the use of the tools and the techniques. Technology's been a part of human history for thousands of years, from the invention of the wheel and plow to the development of computers and the internet. Technology's been instrumental in shaping human civilization, and even in our discourse, even in communication. It's Our communication has evolved from hand gestures, grunts, all these different kinds of early forms of communication to very sophisticated vocal pitches, tones, and the ways that we actually speak. But technology is not also just about creating tools and gadgets and the ways that we communicate. It's about the interaction that they have with the world around us. Technology's transformed the ways that we've lived, the ways that we work, the ways that we communicate, and it's made our lives more comfortable, efficient, convenient, but it's not always great. Technology is not always the answer. It's also brought about some really tough challenges. The rapid pace of technological developments led to concerns about things like impacts on the environment, impacts to society, and even individual well-being. So, to understand the impact of technology, we really have to consider the ethical implications of its use. As we continue to develop new technologies, we have to ensure that they are going to be used in a way that's going to benefit humanity